Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Pagani Design PD-YS011. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing this Dominator Del Mar DD-8009, and Grogo's wearing my WM watch 157. Grogo said that 3 different polls show that Princess Leia is trailing Wrecker in the upcoming Chancellor election. I asked him what's the margin. He said he prefers I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. Alright, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this Pagani Design typical box. But look at this. Instead of the blue cleaning cloth, it's more of a light tan. Or I guess ivory, I don't know. But here is the watch. Isn't that a nice looking watch? I think they did a good job with it. Another Pagani design on my channel. I've reviewed more Pagani design watches on my channel than any other watches. They are hard to beat for the money. True, there is nothing original about them and their designs are clearly borrowed, but they sure do look nice and you can get most of them for well under $100. This PD-YS011 borrows this design from Richard Mille, which is a brand so expensive that even their most affordable watch will cost you 50 to 60 grand. When it comes to homage watches in my channel, I've never drawn a line. If you can homage a Richard Mille, then you can homage a Casio. But the thing is, we often wear homages of watches we would likely own if money was not an object. However, a lot of the appeal of Richard Mille is that money is indeed an object. This watch comes in 7 different colorways. If you like the steel color but don't like the light blue I chose, there's also black or orange, and each color has a matching rehaut. If you'd rather have a black case, then you can have the same light blue, orange, and black, but with black you also get a red option you don't get with the steel. The watch is 40.5 millimeters wide if you measure at the widest parts of the bezel. It doesn't have a lug to lug, so it's really 48.7 millimeters long. It's 12.4 millimeters thick, which isn't really bad at all for a Richard Mille homage. And it's 27.6 millimeters where the bottom of the strap meets the case, and it tapers down to 20 at the buckle. And it weighs 116 grams on the supplied silicone strap. The bezel is brushed and looks nice, has a good finish to it. And it's held down by these 8 different screws, and they're real screws. They're not just engravings into the bezel. They hold the bezel on. And then we have the dial. We have a kind of a fake skeleton. Some of these gears and stuff, they're just fake. This is a Quartz watch. I don't really like fake gears on a watch, so I wish they didn't put the fake gears. Yes, I know a Richard Mille would have the gears, but a Richard Mille would be a real mechanical watch, and this is Quartz. Then we have the rehaut. The rehaut says Pagani Design up top, and it says Japan Movement on the bottom, and the rehaut also has a tachymeter. And then we have the indices cut into the rehaut, and they are lumed. And then we have the faux skeleton dial. Then we have the hands. The hands are semi-skeleton. They're cut out in the base, but they're fairly long where they're loomed. And then we have the large second chronograph hand, and that is not loomed. And then the bottom subdial is the chronograph minute counter. The left subdial is the running second hand. And the top subdial is the chronograph sub-second counter. And it counts 1/10 of a second. And then on the right, we have the date. And as you can see, the date wheel is black. So that's nice. So since this is a skeleton design, if it was a white wheel, you'd see all these white dates in the skeleton part. And so black just looks a lot better. So I'm glad they did that. Then once again, this is a large second chronograph. So let's go ahead and press the top pusher. And as you can see, this is not a mecha quartz. So the large second hand is ticking once a second and not 5 times a second. But on the top here, we do have a sub-second wheel. So when you stop it, it just happened to stop at the 10. Let me do it again. Okay. Press the bottom pusher to reset it. And once again, this is not a mecha quartz, so you get a fast rewind. You do not get an instant snapback. Then we have the sign crown. It's a push-pull, not a screw-down. You only get 50 meters of water resistance. You don't need a screw-down, really. And then the pushers are not round, and so they don't have locks on them, but you don't need locks. Once again, it's 50 meters. Then we have the sapphire crystal, and it looks nice. It does a pretty good job of not reflecting, so I don't know if it has AR coating or not. I mean, of course, when my overhead light is directly over it, it's going to reflect, but I don't see a lot of reflection otherwise. And then we have the case. The case is Richard Mille style, and I don't know what else to call it other than Richard Mille style. But it's a nice looking case, has a matte finish. And then we have the case back. The case back is held on by 12 little tiny screws, and they're real screws. I verified that the screws come out easy enough, but I didn't actually take the case back off because there's 12 of them, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So that's going to make battery changes a little bit difficult. When you do take these screws out, be sure to put it on a tray or something so you don't lose any of the screws. Because if you lose any, I don't know how you're going to ever replace them. Then it says Pagani Design up top, sapphire stainless steel back, 5 ATM water resistant, and gives the model number, PD-YS011. And one nice thing too is the case back is curved, so it contours to the wrist nicely, even though this is a fairly big watch. Underneath the case back is the Epson YM92 large second chronograph movement. This is a quartz movement, and I already went over it. Orient automatic watches are released as Epson branded when they sell them to the secondary market, but I'm pretty sure Epson makes their own quartz movements, so they're not actually part of Orient, but they're all owned by the Seiko group now, so it doesn't matter. Then we have the strap. Some of the AliExpress ads said rubber, and other parts of it said silicone, and it feels like silicone to me, but it's a harder silicone. It's not that really soft, squishy silicone, so it feels good. It's kind of slick. Doesn't have that really good feel of rubber, but I still like it. I think it's comfortable. Then we have two keepers, one fixed with these nibs, and these nibs actually do a good job. Some of these silicone straps with the nibs do horrible, but this one actually holds it in place, and the other one's floating. Then we have the buckle. The buckle is really nice. It's really sturdy, substantial, nicely finished, signed, and the prong's not all floppy. So I do like the strap. Here's the watch of my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice. It wears nice. Once again, that curved case back helps it contour to the wrist. I have 5 notches left, so you should be able to wear this if you have 8 3/4, no problem. Possibly 9, which is good because you're not changing this strap. And of course, you could probably poke one more hole in it if you did have to go 9. Here we are in the Lume room. I don't know why I even bother testing on Pagani Design, as they're almost always a major disappointment, but sometimes they do surprise you. But just wearing the watch gave me no indication that this would be one of those times. As we speed up the time, we see the green glow C3 style Lume, typical Pagani design as everything is fading quite fast, but at least the hands are a hair stronger than the weak indices, where all too often it is the other way around. What do I like about this watch? Well, I like this curved case back. It lets this big watch wear nice and flat on the wrist. I like the fact that it has an Epson YM92 movement, which is a refreshing change from the usual VK63. And I really like this strap and buckle, which is good because you're not changing it. What are my gripes and groans? The Lume is really lackluster. There are 12 screws on the case back, so it's going to make battery changes difficult. And I don't like these fake gears on the dial. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, this watch is great. It looks and wears nice and has a large second chronograph for sub-seconds. So if you're jonesing for a Richard Mille style watch, this one will do you pretty good. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Pagani Design YS011, and I will be back with another review or unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link and I will get a tiny commission. But those tiny commissions do add up. And I'm getting ready to probably cash out my commissions and get that squally I was thinking of. Bye.